It began with the sound of rushing water, the hiss of a shower, a sudden scream, and a flash of steel. In that moment, movie history changed forever. But behind the terror of Marion Crane's final scene stood Janet Leigh, a woman whose real-life story was filled with its own shadows and light. That one chilling moment in Psycho would immortalize her name, but it also defined her in ways she could never escape. To the world, she was the ultimate scream queen, a Hollywood icon. Yet behind the perfect image lay a life of quiet endurance, heartbreak, and unwavering grace. Her story started far from the bright lights of Los Angeles. In Merced, California in 1927, born Jeanette Morrison, she was the only child of a working-class family trying to survive the Great Depression. Her father worked wherever he could, her mother held the home together, and young Janet learned early how fragile stability could be. She was gifted, athletic, musical, and deeply curious, but introverted, more drawn to books than crowds. There was nothing about her modest beginnings to suggest she'd one day become a Hollywood legend. But destiny, as it so often does, was already writing her script. One winter, a family friend snapped a photograph of her, a simple picture that would change everything. By a twist of fate, that photograph reached actress Norma Shearer, one of MGM's most powerful figures. Struck by the young woman's radiant innocence, Shearer sent it straight to the studio heads. Soon, Janet found herself plucked from college life and flown to Hollywood, signing a contract with MGM before she was even 20. Overnight, Jeanette Morrison vanished, replaced by a name made for the marquee, Janet Leigh. Hollywood was dazzling but demanding. MGM groomed her with precision, lessons in poise, diction, and performance, all designed to craft perfection. She appeared in musicals and comedies, her warmth and sincerity shining through even the lightest scripts. Audiences adored her natural charm. And then came Houdini, the film that not only elevated her career, but also introduced her to Tony Curtis, a fellow rising star with a grin that could melt any heart. The connection between Janet and Tony was immediate, magnetic. They became Hollywood's golden couple, marrying in 1951 and becoming the darlings of the tabloids. Their photos graced every magazine cover, the dream couple who seemed to have it all. But the truth behind the glamour was far more complicated. Fame pulled them in opposite directions. Constant filming schedules, rumors, and the unbearable pressure to maintain a flawless public image slowly eroded their happiness. What the world saw as a fairy tale marriage was, in reality, a fragile illusion held together by love and obligation. Still, Janet's professional life continued to soar. She moved effortlessly between genres, from romance to drama to thrillers, earning respect as a performer who could convey both strength and vulnerability. And then came 1960, the year that would seal her place in cinematic history. Alfred Hitchcock cast her in Psycho, giving her a deceptively simple role. Marion Crane, a woman on the run who meets a gruesome end in a lonely motel. But it was more than a role. It was a test of endurance and trust. The iconic shower scene took 7 days to film. Each take demanded total vulnerability, precision, and emotional exhaustion. Janet later admitted that after Psycho, she could never comfortably take a shower again. Yet her performance was unforgettable, forever altering the course of horror cinema and her own career. While her professional triumph reached extraordinary heights, her personal life fell apart. Her marriage to Tony Curtis, once the envy of Hollywood, collapsed under the weight of betrayal and distance. Their divorce in 1962 left Janet heartbroken. She had believed in the dream, the perfect marriage, the perfect family, and now she was left to rebuild herself amid the debris of public scrutiny. But she didn't break. Instead, she found strength in motherhood, dedicating herself to raising her daughters, Kelly and Jamie Lee Curtis. In them, she found her greatest joy, her reason to keep going. As the years passed, Hollywood itself began to change. The glamour of the 1950s gave way to a grittier, more rebellious era. For actresses like Janet, who had come of age under the studio system, opportunities grew scarcer. Yet she adapted with quiet resilience, taking on roles in television and smaller films that showcased her versatility. She starred in thrillers and dramas, always bringing authenticity and heart to her characters. In 1980, she shared the screen with her daughter Jamie Lee in John Carpenter's The Fog, a symbolic passing of the torch between two generations of scream queens. Even as the spotlight dimmed, Janet remained graceful. She faced life's challenges, including health issues and the loss of old friends, with remarkable composure. Away from the cameras, she became an author, penning novels and memoirs that offered glimpses of her soul without bitterness. She often reflected on the dual nature of Hollywood, how it had given her a dream and taken pieces of her in return. But she never spoke with resentment. Instead, she seemed grateful for the experience, the lessons, and the ability to endure. In her later years, Janet Leigh carried herself with the serenity of someone who had made peace with her past. Her beauty deepened, no longer the flawless glow of youth, but a quiet radiance born of wisdom. She loved attending film retrospectives, meeting fans, and celebrating the legacy she helped build. People who met her were struck by her kindness, her humility, and the way she made everyone feel seen. Even as her health declined, she remained dignified and warm, her smile unchanged. The same smile that had once captured Norma Shearer's attention all those years ago. When she passed away in 2004, Hollywood mourned the loss of one of its last true icons, but Janet Leigh's spirit didn't fade. It lived on, not just in Psycho's unforgettable scream, but in the legacy of grace, courage, and authenticity she left behind. She taught generations that resilience can be just as powerful as beauty, and that vulnerability, when embraced, becomes strength. And when we look back at her private photos, laughing with her daughters, relaxed between takes or gazing thoughtfully into the distance, we see the real woman behind the legend. Not just the star drenched in stage light, but the mother, the survivor, the dreamer. The woman who faced her fears, lived through heartbreak, and emerged stronger. Janet Leigh's light may have dimmed from the screen, but it continues to glow in memory, timeless, eternal, unbroken. If you've ever been inspired by her talent, her courage, or her extraordinary journey, now's the time to keep her legacy alive. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories just like this one.